Hello and welcome to Physical Therapy, a movie podcast inspired by the world of physical media and beyond. My name is Kurt.
My name is Sam.
We are also joined by our producer, Kimberly. What's up, Kim?
Hello, Kim.
Hi, Kurt. Hi, Sam. Good day to you both.
Wow, how formal.
Oh
how formal.
Gosh.
I don't know what else to say. I really need to come up with like a little bit that I do every week, but I haven't had time to think about it.
Like a little catchphrase?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Kapow! How about that one?
Woo!
Kim's the fucking Kool-Aid man just slamming through a wall.
On today's episode, we are talking about the 1950 Hollywood classic Sunset Boulevard, directed by Billy Wilder, recently released on 4K for its 75th anniversary.
Fucking nuts, dude.
Wild.
For that conversation, we will be joined by Galen Howard, a fantastic actor who you will know from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and the Book of Boba Fett and more. But first, let's talk about movies in the movie theater, shall we?
Okay.
Should we do a little theatrical roundup?
Oh, baby.
Let's do it.
It's not like this past week was fucking incredible or anything.
Let's do it.
Of course, I'm referring to the release of Paul Thomas Anderson's new movie, One Battle After Another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Sam, you saw this movie?
Yeah, I saw it in 70 millimeter at the Hollywood Theater on the Wednesday before it was properly released on Friday.
Okay.
You saw it first.
I fucking saw it first. Wow.
This is an action-packed movie inspired by Thomas Pynchon's novel Vineland. Leonardo DiCaprio plays a member of a group of revolutionaries who have basically like disbanded 15 years prior to the, main events of this movie. He's living under an alias in the woods with his 15-year-old daughter when figures from the past
Rear their ugly heads, if you will.
And hunt him down.
It is really fucking good.
Yeah.
They're playing it in many formats around the world. 70 millimeter, Sam, is how you saw it. You mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Kim and I saw it at the IMAX in 70 millimeter here in LA, which was insane. Our screening had a surprise introduction in person from Paul Thomas Anderson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Chase Infinity, who plays his daughter in the movie. I screamed like the fucking Beatles walked in the room.
Yeah, so did I. This was like my childhood moment. It was just perfect. Just seeing him in the flesh. He looks great.
Kim lost her mind.
I lost my mind.
They're also projecting this movie in VistaVision, which is how they shot it, which I am not going to bother trying to explain because I don't really understand it. It is a form of a 35 millimeter negative that I think might go through the camera horizontally as opposed to vertically, and therefore, I guess, utilize more surface area or something. But this movie has an aspect ratio, a native aspect ratio of like 1:3 or 1:1. It's basically the same as IMAX. It's square, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But they're projecting it in a few places, including the Vista here in LA, in VistaVision, which I'm going to go see next weekend.
Nice.
But basically, from my understanding, this technology, of projection, this VistaVision, has not been done since the 60s. So it's shot and being displayed that way in a few places, which is very cool.
Yeah, we only have digital IMAX out here, normal digital presentation, and then 70 millimeter at the Hollywood. But I am going to go see it in digital IMAX.
What was the aspect ratio when you saw it, Sam? Was it a square or was it 1:8:5?
Definitely was not 1:8:5. I'm not sure of what the exact aspect ratio is, but it was very square.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
So when the Hollywood does 70 millimeter screenings, they add 6 feet to the screen in every direction.
Okay.
So like on the sides and the top and bottom.
Yep.
And this felt very square and extremely big. Like there's a scene towards the end when cars are driving up and down like hills on a freeway.
Mm-hmm.
And that I was panning up and down more so than left to right.
Yeah. It's already been announced on 4K that it's coming. I can't wait.
Yeah. Day one, without a doubt.
Yes. And what a great segue to announcements.
Yeah. So the big announcement, I think, for both of us, and there's little to zero information about it, but There Will Be Blood is apparently coming soon.
Fuck yes.
That's exciting.
It's extremely exciting.
I wonder who it will be. I think it will be Criterion.
You think so?
Kinda.
Okay. I mean, I'm all for it, His only movie that exists on 4K is Punch Drunk Love, right?
And Phantom Thread.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I wonder how long that will take. I can't wait. Oh my God, There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, seeing it in 35 millimeter again a couple weeks ago was phenomenal.
Oh, that's fun. I'm jealous. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm ready for it.
Shout Select announced a 4K coming on December 16th of Leaving Las Vegas, which stars Nicolas Cage in a role that he won Best Actor for, I believe, at the Oscars, and Elizabeth Shue. This is a movie that I already have in my shame pile on Blu-ray and haven't watched yet and will be upgrading because I'm insane. I believe this is a very tough watch. He plays a struggling alcoholic in this movie.
No, it's a dude who's like drinking himself to death.
On purpose.
Right?
Right. This movie was directed by Mike Figgis, who has a movie out right now that I am dying to see.
It's supposed to be really good.
Called Megadoc.
Yeah.
Which is a documentary behind the scenes of Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis.
Kind of like the Hearts of Darkness to Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. So shout out to him. And I look forward to seeing this movie finally, even though it's going to be a rough hang.
Dude, you know what Umbrella announced? They announced a bunch of stuff, but one of the big things that I don't know if I'm going to get, but it's a pretty fun announcement, is the complete Toxic Avenger box set.
Can you explain the Toxic Avenger to me? I have no idea what it is. I know that they just made a new one.
Yeah, so there are like 4 original ones, 85, 89, 89, and then 2000 are the first 4. But these are like really low budget trauma movies.
Right.
I can't remember. It's a janitor of a school or something, and I don't know, he gets dropped in toxic waste and he becomes like a crime fighting superhero who's disgusting to look at, and his like main weapon is a mop.
Trauma is, what does that mean? It's
Trauma is a production company.
Okay.
And they just make gross out, low budget, crazy movies, but kind of like the Roger Corman School, a lot of people got started working for Troma and Lloyd Kaufman.
Cool.
I mean, at this point, most notably James Gunn.
Ah, okay.
And they made a Toxic Avenger like remake. I think they was shot it in 22, 23, but it just finally came out.
Peter Dinklage?
Mm-hmm. Peter Dinklage, Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon.
Whoa.
I saw it in theaters and it fucking rules, dude. It's so
cool.
funny. It's so like a great love letter to the original series. And I had a lovely time with it.
And that's part of this set.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Which is great. The first one is it's got some of the most messed up scenes I've ever seen in a movie in it, but in good fun, I guess.
Sam, we have a very, very special announcement. A 4K coming out on December 8th, Steelbook of 1997's Anaconda.
Hell yeah, dog.
Wow.
You better
that's
believe I
fun.
wished for this. You better believe the gods heard me. The snake gods of Blu-ray.
I went and saw that Him movie.
Okay.
One of the biggest piles of shit I've seen in a long time, but
Okay.
they showed the new Paul Rudd, Jack Black Anaconda reboot movie, like trailer.
Yes.
How did it look?
I watched the first like minute and was like, I'm so on board for this. I don't want to see anything else.
Wow.
Cannot wait.
Okay, good. That makes me so happy.
It seems like the perfect way to do kind of a crazy reboot remake.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like 4 friends who are obsessed with the original Anaconda movie who go out to make a low budget version of Anaconda.
Oh, fun. That's great.
And they're attacked by snakes?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
There was one scene where Jack Black was like tied up with a dead pig, like tied to his back. And I was like, I don't know what this is about, but yes.
The last one that caught my eye, Sam, coming in 2026, apparently from Kino Lorber, a 4K of the Pamela Anderson film
Oh my God.
Barb Wire.
Yeah.
What's up with Barb Wire?
I've never seen Barbed Wire. I remember being a young boy when this movie came out and just seeing the cover at Blockbuster and like being mesmerized
Fainting?
by it. Yeah.
Same here. Never seen it. I'm glad Pamela Anderson is back in our lives, and I look forward to finally watching this.
You got to see that dude Naked Gun.
I know.
She's so
I know.
funny in it.
I think that's going to be a blind buy for me.
Arrow released the full specs for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy, which looks pretty loaded with like fun lobby cards and posters and stuff like that. I still need to pre-order that. They also announced City on Fire, which will be a UK only release, but Scream has also just put out that same movie under their Hong Kong classics.
I might get that version.
The Arrow version?
Yeah.
Me too, honestly. I'm assuming it's the exact same transfer, but
Yeah.
Arrow is one of my top labels, and I love to throw them some cash when I can. Spinal Tap 2 got an announcement. Looks like it's a steel book.
You liked it, right?
I liked it. I had a really fun time with it. Did you see that one of the other Umbrella announcements was Tourist Trap, which I will not be buying a third copy of, but...
That's one you accidentally bought twice.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Oh my god.
That's an incredibly good, scary, lower budget slasher movie from the 80s if people are wanting some suggestions for spooky season.
Cool. Anything to confess, Sam?
I kind of hinted at it a couple episodes ago, but I did end up ordering the 2 Tron movies, the UK version, so non-steelbook. In that same package, I picked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem and the Night of the Living Dead remake steelbook because they came back in stock at Orbit. And I think at this point, will be in stock for a while.
Nice. Spoiler alert, we're probably going to do a few of those titles on this podcast.
Uh-oh.
Could it be? Could it be that I don't have any confessions?
Whoa. I'm proud of you. Could it? Did you get anything else?
I don't
trying to
believe you.
Yeah.
But what's the box that just showed up here
When did it show up?
this morning?
Is it for me?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it from Orbit?
I don't know. It's huge.
How are you getting deliveries on a Sunday?
It's for me and it's huge.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's like this big.
Is it full of Blu-rays?
I don't know.
I don't either. We'll find out. I definitely have some carts going though, so I'm sure I'll have something to tell you next week, Sam.
I'm proud of you, man.
You know what I want to get? The Corpse Bride. What's up with the Corpse Bride?
I couldn't tell you. I don't think it's good, but
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites.
I watched Beetlejuice at work last night, and let me tell you, Beetlejuice,
So good.
real good.
Real good.
There's a new 4K of the Corpse Bride, and
Nah.
I was looking at the review and got tempted.
It's a good review.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah. I think you could probably skip that
Sickness. Yeah.
I feel empty inside without confessions. I feel
one. That's a good feeling, man.
it doesn't feel good.
It should be a good
Get some more
feeling.
titles out of that shame pile. My shame pile is like completely like broken out of the closet that it was contained in at one point. Now there's just titles like fucking thrown across a room.
It's consuming you. It's going to come eat you.
I feel like I gotta buy a copy of Jack Reacher 2 on 4K before I lose my fucking mind. Okay, we are joined by Galen Howard. Hi, Galen. Thanks for being here.
Galen.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Galen, our first question for you is, of course, what is your relationship to physical media? Are you a physical media person?
I've gotten back into it, not to incriminatingly age myself, but I grew up with a fair bit of audio visual media of all kinds, cassettes, then on to discs, then, always had a love for vinyl. Recently got back into collecting films on disc again, especially with all of the incredible boutique labels that have, really kind of reached their renaissance in the last 5 years, it feels like.
It's prime time.
I was just going to say.
Oh, 100%. I'm, in love with what like Vinegar Syndrome's doing and Severin and Arrow. I would say Vincent's probably, for depth and variety, I think is really kind of cornering the market for my money. I also love what Kino Lorber is doing. I wish they put the same kind of affection in their packaging that like some of the others do, but you can't argue with their selection. They have some real gems on there.
Incredible titles.
We love Kino over here, and
Oh, yeah.
I got to be honest, I'm sort of a sucker for their simplicity. I kind of like just the slip sleeve, like studio artwork, studio title on the spine, in the font. I love a big box.
Yeah.
We all love a big box from Arrow or whoever.
Who doesn't love a big box? Yeah. I had a giant book collection for a while too, so there is something satisfying about those big wide spines.
Yeah.
Vincent has their sub-label Cinematograph with those just gorgeous little books and everything, and the case and everything. I'm a sucker for something like that, but I appreciate the simplicity too. I don't, the tail shouldn't wag the dog either,
Yes. It's tempting sometimes for for that to be the case.
Yeah, exactly. You have to credit, I think, Criterion for really getting the ball rolling with that.
Of course.
Changing the game with their cover art and things like that.
Yeah.
As you said, it is really prime time for physical media. And, especially as we see now how precarious, digital licensing can be. I mean, there's really no substitution for having the thing in your hands.
Without a doubt. I sure as hell would not be here without the Criterion Collection.
Of course.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. As you mentioned, I'm an actor. I work in film. I had a love affair with film before I was certain where I would fit in. I just knew I wanted to be part of it. Those labels that really preserve film history in that way is just, it just really tugs at my heartstrings.
It's an incredible time to be alive and collecting movies.
Yeah. It really is. It really is.
I'm sure this is what it probably felt like every step of the way, Laserdisc, DVD, VHS.
Sure.
But it's kind of hard to imagine it ever getting much better than it is right now. Like, these things are being preserved and presented in a way that's so close to, what they had to offer from the beginning. We're going to talk about Sunset Boulevard, but something that's 75 years old that can look as good as it does on 4K. It's a special time.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm always asking people this. I get a variety of answers, but, I figured I couldn't go to a better source. But what are your feelings as far as the delineation between Blu-ray and 4K? Like, when can you absolutely tell the difference? When is there no question? When are you splitting hairs?
We've talked about this on the show a little bit.
I'm sure.
I think there are certain things, like something that's like really neon soaked or really dark. You can, again, it's all about your setup and what you have access to. But
of course,
something like that in 4K or animation or something really colorful is going to pretty much knock your socks off every time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most interesting things about being a movie collector right now is that people are putting out so many interesting titles, and whether that's a combo pack of Blu-ray and 4K or DVD and Blu-ray, you don't really have to pick. You can pick whichever one is best for your setup,
sure,
which is great, and still have access to incredible titles. But if it's something new or new to 4K, I tend to buy the 4K more so than I buy any other format.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard. I mean, I'm definitely I'm a total Blu-ray and above convert. Once you have a setup that fits that, there's really no going back.
Right.
I've heard in general you see more of a difference in films, from the last 20 years than you might in some cases with a lot of the older prints. Like, you can only upgrade it so much, but then also there's always exceptions.
Like when you see Taxi Driver on 4K, I'm not sure if you've had that pleasure, Galen, but like,
not yet.
It's nuts.
Is it a different movie?
Yeah, on some level, yeah. We just did Happy Gilmore last week, and like, it kind of felt like a different movie. It kind of felt like I had never seen it, even though I had seen it so many times. A layer of gauze is removed, and like, you're kind of in it deeper than you've ever been.
Right. You can see details. You can see something in the background that you never noticed before, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Sam, I mean, you were alluding to, I think, the HDR of it all. To me, that's my first answer to your question, Galen. Like, the difference between Blu-ray and 4K comes down to the color most of the time for me, like when they have Dolby Vision or HDR, more so than the actual like uptick in resolution. The richness of the color space like that the new format has to offer is much closer to like a 35 millimeter print, and like what that can provide. The depth of the contrast is just definitely an upgrade in my opinion.
That's awesome.
But honestly, like, a lot of times if I watch a Blu-ray, I'll notice right away, or I'll think like, okay, like this doesn't have HDR. But within a few minutes, that kind of goes away. Like, that format is still so good.
It's incredible. I mean, with a 4K player and a 4K TV, your player's going to upscale that Blu-ray as much as it can, and it still looks great. And
still looks great, yeah.
If you're a fan of older cult movies or like low budget cinema, sometimes the 4K it doesn't ruin it, but it can be a little like too clear.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you're like, oh,
right,
wow.
You don't want to see this. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want the grime. You want a little bit of,
Or you're like, wow, there's clearly a string right there that I've never noticed
Yeah,
before,
I don't need this. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But some of those analog titles, some of the early video titles, things like that, yeah, there's only so much you can upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see like Vincent, giving us a 4K of like champagne and bullets anytime soon.
But they gave us Congo.
That is true. And Roadhouse.
Roadhouse and Jade. Yeah.
Yeah, Jade looks great. Yeah, they're amazing. They're some of the most like similar to Kino, I think, where it just feels so grainy in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
You just feel like you're watching a print, like a perfect.
I love it. Love it. Yes. This film isn't as grainy, but it's beautiful for sure. Sunset.
So had you seen this before, Galen?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I big noir fan. I saw it before I moved to LA. I'm from NorCal originally.
Okay.
Yeah, been down here in the industry about 15 years, and yeah, it was great. It was my first time seeing it after moving to Los Angeles.
Okay,
so
wow.
that was really fun.
That's fun.
That was really fun. Of course, yeah, everything just resonates even deeper.
Yeah.
Yes, having been through that, I think all of us have. If you work in the industry, if you're here for long enough, you'll meet your handful of Joe Gillis's and Norma Desmonds.
Yep.
I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
There are some Betty Schaefers. There are some Maxes out there, too.
Yep.
There's,
All the characters are still present. Yes.
are so present here. Yeah.
I'd like to be a Max if I could choose.
Oh, 100%.
Just like a working stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sadly, I think that's your best
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, seriously.
I think I am turning into Norma Desmond slowly
that's good.
but surely.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
That makes me feel
This
safe.
town is really getting to me.
Great. Yeah. Love to see it.
Yeah.
So Sunset Boulevard is, of course, a 1950 Billy Wilder movie starring William Holden and Gloria Swanson. This is about a screenwriter who is down on his luck and looking for work. He cannot find it from the studios. His car is about to be repossessed. And he's basically considering moving back to, where's he from? Ohio?
Ohio, yes.
Yeah. And while he is being chased by some creditors trying to get his car, he has a flat tire and pulls into the nearest driveway on Sunset Boulevard into a giant dilapidated mansion. And here he stows his car and walks inside. And what happens in there, Sam?
He thinks the mansion is deserted, so he kind of slowly enters and finds that it is a massive villa that is home to an aging silent film star named Norma Desmond and her butler, Max. She mistakes him for a funeral director because her pet chimp has just died. She's screaming that he's late, and she quickly realizes that she's got the wrong person. And he kind of quickly realizes that he can use this situation to his advantage.
Yeah, he recognizes her, and she discovers that he is a working screenwriter. And like everyone in Hollywood, she has an unproduced screenplay that she's been working on, which is basically just like a massive pile of handwritten
Like scenes
pages.
and notes. Yeah.
About Salome, who is...
Salome, yeah. Or
Salome.
Yeah.
It's like a Cleopatra-esque epic.
She was a Jewish princess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Norma Desmond is played by Gloria Swanson, who was herself a silent star. And this movie is, that's one of about 1,000, real references to Hollywood at the time.
Right.
This movie's filled with actors playing themselves, directors playing themselves.
Right. Well, yes, and her butler is Max, her former husband, and the filmmaker who discovered her is also played by silent filmmaker extraordinaire Eric von Stroheim.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, there's so much of that.
And so Joe Gillis, who William Holden plays, is hired basically by Gloria Swanson to take over this screenplay and get it into shape, whip it into shape.
Yeah.
And then quickly things turn kind of strange.
Oh, yes.
They work into the night on that first night, and she offers him a room to stay in above her garage for that evening. And when he wakes up the next day, all of his belongings have been brought into that room.
By Max.
Good old Max.
And they tell him that they have paid his rent.
Yeah.
And not to worry about money.
I hadn't seen this movie since film school, which was 45 fucking years ago. But so I hadn't seen it since then. And I forgot how much of a straight noir it starts off as.
Right.
Yeah, talk about the beginning. We sort of left out like the very famous opening sequence.
Yeah, so it opens with a voiceover of Joe explaining what Sunset Boulevard is and what this house is and this homicide squad that is showing up to discover a dead body in the pool.
Right.
A man floating face down.
Who has been shot twice in the back and once in the stomach. The beginning, the first 5 minutes of this movie feel exactly like the opening of a Twilight Zone episode in the best way possible.
Yeah, but I think there's elements of it also that, as far as the way that they've photographed Hollywood and everything, it's something that you've seen taken even further than that, like in the works of Tarantino and beyond. You know, like it's one of the few films of that time that used the technique of revealing the title within the frame.
Yeah.
You know, within something on the frame or on the painted street corner.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we see our title, and then that beautiful tracking shot, you know, already giving us this meta quality of it.
Yep, shot on location.
Right.
Yeah, and starting with our main character already dead. So it is a flashback, essentially, the entire movie.
100%.
But I think they do it in an interesting way, too, where it's not like, oh, and there I am dead in the pool.
It's very mysterious.
Yes, if you're not familiar with the movie, you don't necessarily know that that's the narrator's body immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure other films had used that technique before, but I mean, I think this is one of the more famous ones, and I don't think another film has done it better. I mean, I was thinking about that as I was watching it. It's like, there's so many others that, yeah, they have to just spell it out like, that's right, I'm dead, you know?
Yeah, the only movie I could compare it to is Double Indemnity, where he's shot, but he's leaving the voice memo.
Right.
Right. As he's narrating as he's dying.
Yeah, exactly. But that's about it. But yeah, it is so unique and really pulls you in immediately.
100%.
You do see his face, and there's a very famous kind of story about, like, if the camera basically is showing you the underside of this floating man's body from underwater, and you're seeing behind him, like, all the press and the police taking his, photograph.
Yeah.
And the way that they shot it, they had tried, like, submerging a camera underwater in a big waterproof housing, and the result did not look good. So the way that they were able to photograph underneath, the floating man's body was by putting a giant mirror on the bottom of the pool and shooting through the water into the mirror and, getting the reflection.
It looks awesome, but there's like a weird kind of sheen to it. And I was like, man, is he like sitting on a piece of clear plastic? But it makes more sense that it is a mirror.
While Joe is trying to find work, he goes to see an acquaintance of his, a professional acquaintance who is a producer on the Paramount lot. Paramount also produced this movie, so there's a lot of like meta studio stuff going on.
Exactly, yeah.
But he goes to see this executive to check in about a script that he had submitted a treatment for that has just been kind of in stasis and trying to get that going.
Bases loaded, baby.
Yeah, it's a baseball movie. And here he meets a young script reader named Betty Schaefer, who is like very critical of this script idea that he had submitted and, talks shit about it right in front of him, but doesn't realize he's in the room. A great scene. And she will come to play a big role in this movie.
Joe and Norma end up working on this script for an undisclosed amount of time, but I'm pretty sure the movie is about a 6-month period.
And in that, like, it's a great sort of progression where, like, yeah, they don't really talk about the time passing, but you see him slowly being brought further and further into the Norma Desmond world, into her web. Like, she's constantly, like, buying him stuff, and, like, his wardrobe slowly starts to change as she's, like, picking out clothes for him. And at first he's like very like resistant of it. You don't need to buy me anything else. I won't let you buy me anything else. But an hour into this movie, he looks like a completely different person than when we first meet him.
She's permanently arrested in the 20s and 30s, so forces him to dress in the fashion of her prime. The whole film is about her clinging to her youth and then, forcing him into her fantasy and then lashing out whenever that bubble is broken.
Yes. One of the most interesting things about this movie is it's made in the 50s. It's about a character, Norma Desmond, who is from a time gone by in Hollywood, from the silent era, is resentful of the current state of movies at that time, doesn't believe that there should have ever been the advent of sound in movies, dialogue in movies, and is, like you said, Galen, trying to desperately like get back to that. One of the most famous lines of this movie, when Joe first meets Norma, he recognizes her and he's like, "Oh yeah, you used to be big, didn't you?" And she says, "I still am. It's the pictures that got small."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's living in this delusions of grandeur, like headspace, that she's still a star.
And not just that, she's built this entire villa shrine to herself, to her career.
Yeah.
She makes Joe watch her old movies that she has in her screening room. Max, fucking poor Max, dude.
He facilitates it all.
Yeah, he's like writing thousands of fan letters that she's getting in the mail.
There's such unintentional foreshadowing with that line. I mean, it works on so many levels, not to mention that this was just a couple years before there would be a small picture television in every home,
Right.
in the country. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's never going to get better for Norma.
Nope.
Sadly.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's so interesting about this is, like, now when I watch it, I look at the 1950s with the same nostalgia that Norma Desmond is looking back at the 1920s,
Yeah.
I'm like, God, if they only hadn't invented the iPhone, like,
Yeah.
it's continuing.
Exactly. Yeah. Now here we are in the only early stages of AI generated content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, not just that, but it's like it makes me nostalgic to an LA I've never known.
yeah, of course.
I'm like, yeah, dude, that town looks awesome when in that period.
yeah.
Huge, wide streets with no traffic.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and just like beautifully preserved and like, yeah, a whole different era.
Even the exterior of his apartment building that the movie kind of opens on, you see those types of very like Italian, Spain inspired apartment buildings still in LA now, but they're like decrepit and falling over.
Right.
And it's like, man, everything was just so pristine and clean. And there was like Ritz without, billionaires controlling everything. It was, it's a much different city. And watching a movie like this, it makes you go, yeah, I understand why everybody wanted to move there and like build this life for themselves.
There's an amazing special feature on this 4K set that is a legacy special feature. I think it's been around since the DVD, to be honest.
Okay.
But it is a map of Los Angeles, and it has a few, like maybe 5 locations on the map that you can click on, and it will take you to like a little video, very brief, under a minute probably each one, but a little video documentary about the famous locations from the film and sort of what they had become at the time of the DVD release. So it shows you like the drugstore, which they go to several times in the film, which is now the landmark / like Trader Joe's on Crescent Heights and Sunset.
Oh, yes.
But like his apartment building it remains. It's still there in
It's
Hollywood.
right next to us, actually.
Yeah, it's not far. But her mansion is actually in Hancock Park and is now like a gas station or something, right?
Oh, damn. Really?
Yeah.
Bummer, dude.
Yeah. LA.
Yeah.
It ruins all the good things about it itself,
And I think that's cities in general.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of seeing a film like this for a town with such a rich history. It's one of the cities that has such a disregard for its own history and a need to preserve. It's always about like covering it up, paving it over onto the next thing. The bigger and better. In contrast to cities in Europe, and it's the same roads from 100 years ago. You see the fallen cathedrals in Rome and things like that. You cannot get that here.
But it is interesting how big of a character LA is in this movie. I mean, it's
100%.
every time they leave the house, it's a time capsule of what it used to be and the magic of it. I used to work on Paramount, and it was so I mean, I've seen this movie a dozen times. I mean, it's one of my favorites, and it was so nostalgic working. I worked in the Cecil B. DeMille building there, so it was very always in my head of like, oh, well, this is where Sunset Boulevard is filmed, So there is like this, I don't know, every time you kind of creep into the past here, it is really special. and strange. So
Totally.
But the irony of this movie is it's cynical too.
so cynical.
Oh, so cynical.
It's satire. It's like
Hugely.
I mean, it's so dark. It's like
Yeah.
the darkness of this town and this career and this life. It is, there's no good ending. And I think we all are kind of, you know, after 15, we're also 15 years in, Galen.
Yeah,
so
sure.
the jaded perception is here. But
There's a little. It's inevitable. I mean, it's this town is very unforgiving. You can be seduced into thinking you're having a real love affair with this town, or you're having a real connection, and everything is so passive, and there's such a transience in this town of people coming and going, and there's such an indifference in this town, and that's. And that's kind of the tragedy of, I think, Joe's character. I mean, all the characters, so many of our main characters are so tragic, but his character is absorbed and personified the indifference of the town, to the point that he's unable to be affected by, the love that this younger woman has for him, that Betty has for him.
the fact that he even says that, Norma, you're the only person who's been good to me in this town. Like, that's when it kind of turns, when he falls back into
the trap.
Staying with her. Yeah.
He's truly trapped. I mean, like, at one point, his only real goal and motivation is to try to make enough money to leave.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to just get enough money to get a bus ticket out.
Yes.
He's truly stuck.
Which is Sam's story.
Yeah.
Sam sold all his DVDs to get the hell out of here.
I took my bus ticket and left.
Hey, man.
One of the scenes that got me, that like made me laugh so much is that, and again, this is a very cynical view from my own perspective, but he's like, Norma, I need to get out of the house. I need space. And she's like, oh yeah, we'll go for a drive. We don't need two cars. We'll just go for a drive. And I'm like, man, when was the last time anyone in LA was like, let's just get in a car and drive somewhere for fun?
Probably the last time I did that was, like in the first year or two that I was here, and with some friends, and they'd be like, oh, let's go see the Manson murder's house, and, things like that,
Yeah, see the sights.
Yeah.
I love this town.
It's so ridiculous. Jesus Christ.
That's the sights. It is.
Those are the sights, yeah.
So they finish the script. She's trying to get it in the hands of the famous director Cecil B. DeMille, who plays himself in this movie and who is shooting currently on the lot at Paramount. She can't get him on the phone. He's someone basically who she had worked with, Norma Desmond, back in the day when they were both younger, making silent films.
And they made a lot of movies together.
Yes. Can't get him on the phone, so they go to the studio. They show up Norma Desmond at the studio in her big, chauffeured car. At the front gate, there's a guard who's like, who the hell are you? Do you have an appointment? You can't come in here. And then there's an older guard who she recognizes, and immediately he is like, oh my God, Norma Desmond, it's so great to see you. Treats her like the royalty that she once was. And she waltzes basically onto the set of Cecil B. DeMille's production, which is an incredible, there's people everywhere, all these different department heads and technicians and things. Just an amazing, look behind the scenes at production at that time, giant cameras. And she is greeted by Cecil B. DeMille, who has read her script, who is sort of avoiding having to tell her that he is not interested in actually putting this into production and directing her again. But treats her very gently and kindly as an old, collaborator and friend. And so there's this...
And a little bit of a father figure, too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a great kind of dynamic happening there. And he leads her over to his director's chair and, invites her to have a seat while they're working. And in one of my favorite parts of this whole movie, because it is just constantly fighting cynicism and the magic of the movies and the magic of Hollywood. And she notices up in the rafters a lighting technician that she recognizes, and or he sees her, I forget. He sees her and he's calling out her name.
Yeah.
She looks up and he's like, let's get a better look at you. And he takes this huge light and pans it over a spotlight onto Norma Desmond, who's sitting in the director's chair. And then everybody on the set starts to notice her. and they really remember her and admire her. And it's Norma Desmond. Oh my God, it's Norma Desmond. People that knew her, people that looked up to her, people start gathering around her, giving her this sort of love and adoration that we know she so desperately needs. And, the world has sort of forgotten about giving her. And it's just a very moving moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful moment. And it's also, if you're fans of how movies are made or produced in any way, that it's like it gives you a really cool kind of behind the scenes look at who's on set and why, and especially how movies were made way back in the studio system.
And speaking of foreshadowing, I mean, we'll get to it, but it really mirrors the ending of this movie, which is just one of the most iconic things ever. And we'll get there. But
yeah, during this same time, Max has found out that one of the reasons Paramount is like happy to have her there is because they want to rent her crazy 1929 car for a period picture that they're going to be shooting on the lot.
Yeah, they've been like calling her house constantly, and she thinks it's about the script.
Yeah, she refuses to take any phone calls that aren't from Cecil.
And then, of course, Cecil is to protect her, says like, no, we'll find another car.
Yeah, leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to protect her. He knows that any loss of hope at this point will destroy her, which it does.
I kind of read that too as not just him protecting her, but him protecting himself as well, of like him not having to have this conversation with her, not having to talk about this script that he hates.
It's a two-way thing. Yeah. I mean, he knows it will destroy her, but it's also, like no one wants to have that conversation.
Yeah.
We've all had that conversation one way or another, especially in this town.
I was about to say, like, how Cecil handles it is like very familiar. Like, it's like
Right, yes.
We've all had those kind of situations that we've run up against here.
Just when anyone gives you anything to read and you're like, I hope there's something, I hope there's something good I can say.
Yeah.
There's an amazing sequence at a New Year's Eve party where Norma has bought Joe a tuxedo
with tails. It's like very old school.
Yes.
And he hates it.
Yeah. And he's getting dressed upstairs, and he's going to come down, and he's expecting there to be a huge party. They've hired like an orchestra to play. There's, an unbelievable spread of food, and he comes downstairs, and Norma is on the dance floor, which is in her living room, a giant living room, by herself. Joe's like, well, should we wait for everybody else? And it's revealed that like nobody else is coming. This party is just for the two of them.
Right.
And it becomes clear at this point that she is in love with him. And after sort of trying to get out of there, Norma tries to kill herself. And at this point, Joe is basically trapped in this house and this relationship with her, and decides to stay in order to, prevent her from hurting herself, but also he's got nowhere else to go.
And their sexual relationship does start at this point.
Yeah.
So he fully transitions to a gigolo status.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is really interesting in 1950, like how it's just implied very intensely, but it's very smart and clever how there's just like a look between them, and it's like, they're gonna proceed here.
Yep.
This is the setup now.
Yeah.
You never really see it,
No.
but it's implied.
I was reading a little bit about the history of the production of this movie, and apparently they were releasing pages of the screenplay to Paramount, like 10 pages at a time, because they were afraid of getting hit with one of the codes at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't fully aware of how the movie was going to end, but they were like, if we do it in these increments of smaller pages, then people will basically forget what came before it.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Which is wild.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just implied, and then it's just subtextual, basically.
I think like we see them start to kiss and it fades to black.
Yep.
Yep.
Same as they do with he and Betty later on in the film.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it had been, this is one of my favorite movies, and I've seen it so many times, but it had been a long time. Mm-hmm. And I was watching one of the special features ahead of screening the movie, and they referred to him as a gigolo. And I said to Kim, I was like, this might be like a stupid, embarrassing question, but like, are they having sex in this movie? Like, it's because it's kind of easy to like miss or forget. Mm-hmm. It's because it's just implied, but man, it's dark.
It's an added layer.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's really interesting. And he's just he truly is trapped in every way. But he's done it to himself because there's no other way he can see. Yeah, he's like kind of self-destructing himself in this situation and just taking it. And then he's swimming in the pool with her. He's like kind of grasped onto this new lifestyle.
Yep.
And yet Betty Schaefer corners him about his one script.
To add to the tragedy, this sort of like innocent, young, youthful girl falls in love with him.
The absolute opposite of Norma.
Yes.
Sure.
And they start secretly collaborating on one of his scripts. And they're meeting clandestine, basically, like as it relates to Norma Desmond. He's sneaking out in the mornings, coming home late at night, and he's off with Betty on the lot writing a script, which of course throws her into wild jealousy.
To the point that to get out from underneath Norma, Joe has to come clean to Betty and Norma all pretty much at the exact same time.
Yeah, because before he's only implied that he lives with a friend. He's asked, when she asks about his gold-plated cigarette case, signed from Norma.
Mm-hmm.
Norma basically finds the working script of Joe's, which is written by Joe Gillis and Betty Schaefer.
And it's called Untitled Love Story, which is amazing.
Yeah, and so, my God, that sets Norma off big time. She calls Betty. Yeah, she's out for blood.
Yeah, so during the phone call, Joe takes the phone away from Norma and says, Betty, this is the address, come through, and everything will make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Betty's like poor little roommate has to drive her to this insane house on Sunset Boulevard.
But there's no traffic.
There's no traffic, so they get there in record time. Betty walks in the house. Joe greets her and just says everything to her. Kind of. He's kind of a dick about the whole thing. I mean, he's like an incredible dick about the whole thing.
He's basically trying to
He's trying to protect her. He's trying to push her out of the situation because he knows Norma will take over.
Betty's like, yeah, I don't see anything here. Let's just leave.
Right.
Yep.
Let's not even talk about it.
Yeah.
And she confesses she loves him. And she's like, let's go. I'm going to take you out of here. But he refuses.
Yeah. During their collaboration, she has been off the market because she's married to an acquaintance of his, a friend of his.
Or engaged. I think they're engaged.
Engaged, rather. Yes, yeah. Engaged, yes. She is to be married, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then reveals that she's no longer in love with her fiancé.
Artie.
Yes, Artie.
Who's a nice guy. A real nice guy.
A nice AD.
Yeah.
Just a good AD.
Yeah, a little bit, but is, and I'm sure also of the time is very like, this is my girl. Check out my girl.
Yeah, exactly. A little ownership issues going on.
Again, of the, not uncommon, sadly. Yeah, that's all we really see of Artie. You have a sense of why she might have, why she might have grown tired of that. Yeah.
I would be like, William Holden looks real good compared to Artie.
Yeah, 100%.
Babe.
Yeah. So that's, and then we really see the tragedy of her character in that, she's presumably going to go off to a loveless marriage. Mm-hmm. What she sees in him is really the passion that he once had in his writing that that has since died. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to really resurrect that to find a reason to keep going and, in this unforgiving industry. Really.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It is sort of her first moment of confronting the darkness of where we all, where it all goes in the end. And
this physical therapy has really turned into real therapy on this one.
I know. Oh my God. I mean, it's truly her loss of innocence and her recognizing how dark everything is. And he makes it known, he's implying that he's having sex with this woman to survive, basically.
Yeah.
So Betty leaves, and then Joe tries to leave.
Well, he goes back upstairs, packs his bag with his clothing, the clothing that he had bought for himself that he moved into the house with.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's on his way out the door, crossing the lawn, the backyard. Norma chases him down with a pistol, shoots him twice in the back and once in
The stomach.
We should say before she does do the shooting, he comes clean to Norma and pulls the illusion away from her eyes of, no, in fact, you're not getting fan letters every week. And no, in fact, Cecil B. DeMille does not want to produce your new movie.
Yeah.
He wanted your car, or like Paramount wanted your car. All the build up that, you know, the fantasy of her own, like, completely gets popped by him.
Yeah.
And Joe looks to Max, the ex-husband slash butler, and says, Max has been writing all your fan mail. Isn't that right, Max? And you see, and she's like, Matt, is that true? And Max immediately walks over to her and says, she's the greatest star there ever was. Completely denies it, completely maintains this illusion for her.
He says he doesn't say yes and he doesn't say no. He tells her what she wants to hear.
Yeah.
And then she's in this sort of shock state for the rest of the movie.
Right.
It's almost like a mental breakdown. But that crime of passion, she shoots her lover and he falls in the pool. And then we end up where we began.
And all these cops are there, all these reporters, and she's being interrogated basically in her bedroom by the police. And they're saying, like, you know, what happened? Why'd you do it? And she's not really responding to anything they're asking. And Max basically realizes they can get her downstairs by telling her the cameras have arrived.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so Max, who used to be a director in real life and in this story, Eric von Stroheim, goes downstairs at the bottom of this giant, beautiful kind of curved staircase that's covered with press, covered with cops.
And Hedda Hopper is there reporting, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about her, Kim.
Oh, Hedda Hopper was like a huge columnist in the 40s.
Yeah, like a
40s,
tabloid
yeah.
queen.
Yeah. She like invented like gossip among
column.
the stars. Yeah. And she's a legend. But it's really cool that she's physically in this movie.
Pre-TMZ, you know.
Exactly. Truly. It wouldn't exist without her.
Right. And then we would later get like Liz Smith. And then after that, like, now we have like, TMZ and Nikki Swift and things like that.
Exactly.
And Perez Hilton.
The original Dumois.
Yes.
And Max is downstairs standing next to these cameras, these news cameras, and Norma comes out on the top of the landing, you know, very wide-eyed and clearly like hallucinating basically that she's on a set. And she says, you know, what's the scene? What's the scene, Max? And he explains, like, the princess is walking down the palace stairs. And you see her sort of get into character, and she's got this like flowing kind of outfit on, and she's walking down these beautiful steps as all these people are watching her, these lights are on her, and she gets to the bottom of the stairs and says, okay, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up, which Billy Wilder always has the best like final lines of his films, but this might take the cake.
Yeah, from like Nobody's Perfect to, Shut Up and Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she walks toward the camera.
Yeah.
With these sort of spidery, spindly fingers and this crazy look on her face with big, wide eyes.
Her eyes, dude.
It's wild and so sad and beautiful, and like I would burst into tears. Like,
yeah.
I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen it a million times, but I haven't seen it in so long. And like, wow, it is so electrifying.
Right. It's beautiful. It's heartbreaking. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Exactly.
But my God, I couldn't believe how good that last shot looked on our viewing.
Yeah. I mean, this whole disc was incredible.
I mean, it was, but that particular, I was just like gobsmacked with how good it looked. It was so special to see it like that.
Kurt, what edition did you get?
I just got the Paramount US release. There is a bigger box UK one, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But this is the 4K or?
Yes. Yeah. This was the 75th anniversary 4K that just came out in August that we watched.
Okay.
How did you watch it, Galen?
I just streamed it.
I streamed this one too. I ran around Portland trying to find the new copy of it. Couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh, no.
Went to the video store and the fucking 4K was checked out.
Brutal.
So respect to whoever checked that out, but also fuck off. And,
Right.
So I rented it. Actually, it was on Canopy for free.
Oh, cool.
Which is great. Canopy's an awesome service. People don't know about it.
Canopy is an awesome service. It is free with a library card, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yep. I think you get 10 tickets a month, and like each movie, depending on when it came out, is like 1 to 3 tickets.
They have fantastic movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sunset Boulevard being one of them up there for free. It was a standard definition transfer. It looked fine, but having watched this again, was really like, oh, I gotta pick this new 4K up.
Yeah.
It has a ton of special features on the Blu-ray disc. It comes with a 4K and a Blu-ray. They are all legacy as far as I know.
Okay.
So there's nothing new as far as the supplements go for this release beyond this new transfer.
Copy. With a lot of the older films, there's only so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only so much they can create for that.
Yeah. And there's a lot in there, which is cool.
That's great.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard. It remains just one of my favorites, one of the best.
Do you guys have a poster of this in your house?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like a big Italian poster for it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, fun.
It's a reissue, I think, from the 70s, maybe.
It's very cool. It's in our room.
It'd been a long time since I'd seen this, but when I was watching it again, like I was like looking at Joe's motivation in that last act and those last few scenes, from leading Betty out the door to then decide to make his own exit. Like, what do you guys think is the motivation there, that he wants to leave alone? He doesn't want to leave with someone else. He doesn't, he's like basically like tells her to just save herself, but then shortly after that is making his own exit. Do you think at that point he's made the decision? He's had a second, he's gone from, resigning himself to then leaving? Or like, what do you think is the thought process there?
I think it's like him clearing the slate of his life in LA and taking, his beaten up suits and his beaten up suitcase and being like, Ohio's calling.
I feel like he also kind of can't decide between the two women. Is that crazy?
Right. Yeah. Because he brings up like, it's like, oh, I can't leave behind all these things. It's I can't take all these things with me, and there's like, he feels like there is something that's keeping him there.
Yeah.
That's such a strange perspective. I never thought, I don't think he wants, I think he just knows he's doomed. I think he's basically walking to his grave. Like he knows.
Yeah.
Like before she shoots.
But I feel like he would go with Betty if he wasn't attached on some level to Norma.
Well,
wrong?
Well, I think it can be.
I mean, I think his life with Norma and his whole life in LA, for that matter, has destroyed him to the point that he can't leave. He can't escape. He does want to. I mean, as you say, like, does want to start over. He can't imagine being with someone else because he doesn't know how to be with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I think again, like meeting a character who's dead at the beginning and then opening that character up and we get to see his descent. Like he's fated. Like it to me, his fate is like written and it is so noir. It is so like that formula that Billy Wilder like really does play with in that
fatalism.
There's no leaving for him. Right. I think when he walks out the door, it's just like, he needs to go, but he knows he'll never leave, kind of a thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, Galen, because that is like a very powerful like decision on his end, even though he has no power at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another thing that was fun for me with rewatching is like, I love Billy Wilder stuff. I recently revisited The Apartment, which is just one of my favorites.
That is one of my absolute favorites. It is.
Absolute favorites. But I was noticing you see little motifs in that, like there's also a legendary, New Year's segment in The Apartment. Yeah,
and Baxter is pretty much doomed from the get-go too, which is interesting.
Yes, and the kind of the sexual underbelly is also a big part of that film. There's also the heel in that movie is Fred McMurray playing his boss Sheldrake. Mm-hmm. In this film, the producer who turns him down is also named Sheldrake, played by not Fred McMurray, but Fred Clark.
Mm.
Wow, that's interesting.
So yeah, there's little fun things like that, little Easter eggs.
Billy Wilder just hates people named Sheldrake.
I know, and wants to give people named Fred a job as that character.
Well, Galen, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you. Well, thank you for giving me an excuse to rewatch this film. It's I'm definitely better for it. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I hope this discussion hasn't led any of us to leave this wonderful city. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay.
It did for me.
Sam's coming back.
I always say, like, this is a great city to come back to. If I'm able to take, a few extended vacations every year,
that's the thing. To get out and then to come back.
Yes, I love it a lot more. If I've had to be landlocked, for most of the year,
you would be Joe Gillis. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Galen, where can people find you? What do you have coming up?
Yeah, you can find me. I'm most active on Instagram, Galen Howard, one word. I've got a film on the festival circuit right now, a great genre mashup film called A Blind Bargain, starring Crispin Glover, that I have a fun part in.
Cool.
And then I'm doing for those in Hollywood, I have a play running right now through October called Strings. It's an original horror play that takes on one of the more frightening topics of this modern era, the healthcare system.
Ooh. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay, cool.
That's cool.
So very fun, a little bit of on-stage effects and fun things like that.
Where can people get tickets for that?
You can find that at the theater website, Trepany House, TREPANY House, and it's for people familiar with the area. It's at the warehouse space at the old Titmouse Animation Studio location in Hollywood.
Oh wow, yeah.
And we'll drop a link to that in the description of this episode for people.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic, Galen. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and try not to buy too many Blu-rays.
Not too many. Well,
The
there's
sickness.
the fall Kino sale is just dropped, so no promises.
Yeah.
There's that and the Barnes & Noble 50% off Kino sale happening right now.
I know.
So good luck out there, everybody.
Good luck, right? Exactly.
Okay, Sam, before we go, it's time to put wishes out into the physical media universe for titles on formats that do not yet exist. Here we go. I wish for a 4K Kino Lorber copy of Danny Boyle's The Beach, starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
I wish for a 4K copy from Arrow Video of 1991's Shattered.
What's up with Shattered? What's that?
Dude, no idea. But it's from our beloved Wolfgang Peterson.
Oh, shit.
And starring Tom Berenger and Bob Hoskins.
Damn.
This is what they say
What
on
year?
IMDb. 91.
Okay.
After a horrific car wreck leaves him an amnesiac, a man slowly begins to unravel his shocking past.
Yes.
Are
Yes,
you fucking
yes,
kidding
yes.
me, dude? After I just screened Poseidon, I am all in on Wolfgang Peterson.
Respect. Did he do In the Line of Fire?
Yeah, yes.
Can I change my wish? The Beach is a 2000 Danny Boyle movie written by Alex Garland, who also wrote the novel on which it is based. Mm-hmm. I read that novel a couple years ago and enjoyed it a lot. At that point, I rewatched the movie, which is not even on Blu-ray.
Oh,
as
wow.
far as I know.
Do we think this is one that they've kind of tried to bury?
Like Leo's team?
Yeah, I just don't think it got great reviews when it came out, and people just remember that video game scene.
I mean, I think about the Tilda Swinton scene like all the time. It's insane.
This movie's pretty insane.
Yeah. Listen, man, the minute it gets announced, I'm buying it.
It's not great,
No.
but it
No.
belongs on our shelves.
I think it's actually probably bad, but yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And famously, it's his follow-up to Titanic. Like, could have, gone
snap.
any direction he wanted. And this is what he did.
And this is what starts the Danny Boyle, Alex Garland working relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
A couple years after this, we get 28 Days Later.
So thank God for The Beach.
Thank God for The Beach. Give me a 4K. If people don't know The Beach, it's about a group of young travelers in Thailand who find a map to a secret paradise, basically on a remote island that they swim to. And when they get there, discover that it might not be such a paradise after all. Okay, that is it for another episode of Physical Therapy, a movie podcast. A giant, massive thank you to Patrick Laban for our incredible music, to Kimberly for producing, and to our very special guest, Galen Howard,
Yeah, that was a blast.
who we chatted all about Sunset Boulevard with and had a blast.
If anybody out there has some other golden age of Hollywood titles to suggest, please drop us a line on our Instagram at PT Movie Pod. This is an era of Hollywood that I can be a little blank on sometimes, and I had a really good time watching Sunset Boulevard. So please shoot us some suggestions.
Absolutely. We will be back next week. What are we doing next week?
I think the Trons.
Oh, baby. Sam and I are both waiting on the first 2 Tron film 4Ks to arrive. And if they get here in time, that will be next week's episode. If they don't, God help us all. We'll see you then.